Have you ever wondered what success looks like? Are you curious what other businesses are doing to grow their businesses and take it to the next level? Welcome to Rocket Lawyer's Small Business Spotlight. Hey, thanks for joining me, Josh. Glad you're here today. My name is Ramon Ray, publisher of zoneofgenius.com. We are always excited to talk to amazing small business owners about their stories, how they're getting legal protection and more for their business, and their insights for others. Josh Lloyd, 00 Ventures. Glad to have you here today, Josh. How are things in your world?
Oh, things are great. I really appreciate having me on. Really excited to have this chat.
Oh, yeah, and I'm excited about it too. Appreciate that. So, Josh Lloyd, tell us a bit about yourself and then dive right into what you're doing today with 00 Ventures. As I said, we were talking offline. The website is really cool and good. But who are you, Josh, and what is 00 Ventures?
Yeah, so I am probably technology through and through. I started my career running a startup company and spun out of the Cleveland Clinic, and then pivoted my career to data engineering for a while. So I was doing AI and big data and analytics and all that sort of stuff. And then started 00 Ventures as a way and a means of really kind of doing some good in the world with my skills and talents, which is entrepreneurship, and just looking to make a positive impact again with those skills.
I love it. And 00 Ventures, clearly the name Ventures, many of us may know what venture funding and et cetera is. What is the mission? What are you doing? How is it differ than other venture firms? Or maybe it's very similar, but unpack a bit, if you don't mind, maybe the common thing that many of us know what a venture means, but yours may have a special flair to it.
Yeah, it certainly has a special flair. I like to call 00 Ventures more of a community of professionals, maybe even an investment community, but we're a community of individuals that really believe that our highest duty and our pleasures and joys in life come through helping each other break through barriers that hold us back. So we primarily exist to empower disadvantaged individuals, and we use the tools of entrepreneurship and really kind of our own little flavor of it. I like to call it cooperative stewardship. We use that to kind of empower these disadvantaged individuals.
I love that. And do you hope to make, not to be rude, but I'm just going to go for do you hope to make money from this? The word venture means you want to make money, or are you more like the Red Cross, like, hey, apply and we'll give out millions to anybody who wants it, and that's it. I
Right.
ask
Yeah.
it in
No.
jest.
Yeah, absolutely. No, totally fair question. And yes, we are looking to make money, but to be fully honest, we make the money so that we can turn basically all those profits that we return from those back into the next disadvantaged individual.
Mm,
So, and that's more of a personal pledge I've made. I guess you've heard of vows of poverty. I don't know that I wouldn't say I've taken a vow of
sure.
poverty. I would say I've taken a vow of minimum comfortable
Yes.
income, right? And so
Especially
that
for the venture world, meaning you're looking to
yes.
give $1 as maybe your peers may look to get $100 back. I'm sensing you're like, are they okay? Is my investment company I invested in okay? Are they doing great? Great. They're doing good. I'm happy to take a fruit of that. Is that fair how I'm
Yes,
hearing it?
I think you're spot on. The intention is to make sure that the people in the portfolio that we're partnering with are good, right? And so that they're all partnerships, right? Like that's how we view these individuals. We view them as assets to not only our community internally, but the community, the world community,
Yeah,
right? And so so yeah, we make a profit, and we choose not to go the nonprofit route because
sure.
historically, there's books written on the concept of when helping hurts, right? And
Mm,
so we don't want to feel like these people, sometimes it can hurt to receive a donation. We're
mm.
not looking to donate. We're looking to partner. We're looking to invest, and that really puts us on an equal playing field, and we recognize the value that each person brings to the partnership and the community.
Yeah. And two more questions, Josh. Can you give us a for example? On the website, of course, you have several different examples you may have, and I'm sure maybe some that are not listed. But what's a for example that you can give that you're most proud of, or that you can think of? You can share.
Yeah. So let me give you one that I'm actually working on
Okay.
currently. I've got a lady that we've
Mhm.
run into. She is a mother of 6 kids, but she's a single mother, and she's actually a nail technician. So
Mhm.
she paints nails, right?
Mhm.
And she
I
does
live with two ladies. I totally understand.
yeah, exactly. And she's got does beautiful,
Okay.
beautiful work, right? But she has to run it out of her home, given her situation with all the kids that she's got, running around.
Hmm.
And it really doesn't create the best of environments for her
Hmm.
clientele. So, kind of the idea that we had with that to kind of help them out is like, look, we're going to acquire a nail salon for you. We're going to run it, operate it together. You're going to take a majority stake. We're going to take a slight minority stake, and we do that kind of for the benefits of potentially going out and finding
Hmm.
kind of government grants and
Hmm.
financing. But we bring the financing, we bring kind of the community, the mentorship, and we bring kind of that training and that support network of our entire portfolio. And then we let them just do their best work. That's our model,
Wow.
as we just make them the best they can possibly be.
I love that. And so with that example, I'm guessing where she could, and again, just as metaphorically, where she may max out at 60,000, just talking number 100,000, whatever a year, nail salon, what they make, but maybe this could be $1 million, $3 million, who knows, venture, and she could pay herself and more, give back to her community, and you all could, as time goes on, receive a bit of that. So we're not talking about investing in a startup that's bought by the AI startup, but is that the type of business you're looking at? Not necessarily the big
Yeah.
billion-dollar valuations, but the Main Street business.
Yes, the Main Street business. I would say that we're typically looking at doing acquisitions and deals of businesses that are, on average around maybe 100 in valuation, 100,000 or,
Love it.
or less, right? Small ones, and then we use that, and then we just grow it, right? Like, and so that's definitely of interest to us. I would call us in that way. You almost think of us like a
Mhm, mhm.
micro equity,
I
private
love it.
equity.
I love it. Josh, this is amazing. And one more time again, I think your website is 00 dot ventures, 00 dot ventures.
That's
Right?
correct. Yep, no
Okay.
.com at the end. It's zero
Yes.
zero dot ventures, mimics the exact name that we have.
I
So,
love
yep.
it. Devil Ventures, 00 dot ventures. Definitely check out Josh Lloyd and see him. Josh, I know that legal protection and legal services and more are very important to you. You're an amazing customer of Rocket Lawyer, which provides an array of business services for entrepreneurs, business owners, and even those who are consumers. You can go to rocketlawyer.com and get an array of information for wills, estates, starting a business, going in partnership with a business. Talk about that for you. When did you start using Rocket Lawyer? How is it a part of what you're doing? Because I'm guessing you're dealing with money and emotions and trust and remote, and there's a lot of things that, even though you're a nice guy, need to be, what is it, cross your T's and dot your I's. Talk about how
Yep.
you first started using Rocket Lawyer and what are some key things you're using it for today.
Yeah, so Rocket Lawyer was actually one of the first kind of services that I purchased after starting Double O Ventures. Domain name, then Rocket Lawyers, pretty much.
And that's a good priority. You had the marketing and legal protection. You knew that at the first, the legal protection was so important. Go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. And the reason why I did that is primarily for the business formation, the capabilities of that, as well as also had my mind from the get-go on kind of the tax situation. And I really like the fact that they give you a network of tax professionals that and a discount on their services. So I really, really liked that. So I needed those because because Double O Ventures is a kind of a holding company.
Mhm.
I knew I was going to be starting, business after business after business. And so they provided discounts on future business registration services. And it was really nice actually as I got in there and kind of even set up the first one. And ever since then, it's actually, it's a nice, easy to fill out form that you fill out. And they take care of all the work. And then they send you the documentation in the end. Once everything's registered, they can get your EIN numbers. They really kind of just made it super simple. I just took me like 5 minutes and then, you wait a few days and finally you get your paperwork back and no stress. It was great.
I love it. I'm a Rocket Lawyer customer as well, and I can echo that. Easy to use, no stress. They do the work for you, and no stress. And I think that you and I, as business owners and entrepreneur, Josh, not that I can speak for you, but I think I may be able to. We want to
Sure.
focus on our passions, what we do best. A few things. Let me go back, Josh, talking about your experience, but also talking to other business owners. Why did you think that legal protection was important in forming an entity, and in your case, forming many entities, or the venture stuff that you do? do. Why would you tell business owners this is critical, not to just make it up, do it yourself, but to get help? And we're using Rocket Lawyer.
Yeah, I think that it is absolutely critical because obviously in my situation, I'm not even just doing kind of the typical run of the mill kind of partnerships, right? Where you can use just a super they have and Rocket Lawyers has templates that you can
Mhm.
work with. If that works for your situation, fantastic. So I actually kind of started with one of those templates.
Mhm.
And realized, as I was reading through it, I was like, okay, this probably needs a little bit, some tweaks to it
Mhm.
in order for it to match my specific situation. So the other nice thing about Rocket Lawyer, it's super easy to just fire off a question. And I don't know exactly how it's handled on the back end, but from my understanding, it basically goes to an entire
Mhm.
network of
Mhm.
lawyers. And you might get one, you might get multiple responses of competent lawyers who are probably specializing in the question that you're asking. And it's great because, at least in that case, is like the lawyer made some recommendations, and that was great. But it is also I needed to actually contract with him to get a more specific
Mhm.
contract,
Mhm.
an operating agreement that worked for me and my situation, a template that I could use again and again and again as I go do these partnerships.
Yeah, I think it's so important. And I'm curious, Josh, have you ever had happen, and or if you can speak to the maybe others you heard where you're like, man, I didn't get the right protection, and I wish I had have, or that you've heard maybe stories of peers. I know I have, but curious your experience of like, man, they shouldn't have asked cousin Bob to do it. That they missed this clause, this line. They weren't as smart as they thought they were. Any comments on the importance of really getting legal protection?
Yeah, the importance is really, really important because we all think that, I've had lawyers come to me and I've had, bad family situations, where they
Mm,
didn't have the legal, contracts and legal protection in place, and end up getting in a fight. And then the whole family relationship dissolves,
yeah.
and it's just really, really ugly and nasty. And so part of what a contract, what these legal protect, not only is it legal protection in case something goes ahead, maybe
Hmm.
your Uncle Bob gets a bump on the head
Yeah.
and starts going crazy, right?
Yep.
You need that protection, but it also is helpful because it helps you to put in place the expectations up front
Yes.
on the table so that everybody is on the same page as you're going through and working through, and even the tough things which the contracts usually are thinking about, right? Like everybody knows how to operate, even when
Mhm.
things get tough.
Mhm. I love that. I love that. What are some other areas that you're using Rocket Lawyer? And again, both you and I are using Rocket Lawyer, which helps small business owners and larger businesses as well with an array of legal services to help them get things done right. We're talking about forming an entity. In your case, you're doing several types of entities. Any other things? I think you may have mentioned taxation. Anything else that you can think, hey, here's where legal representation, legal support, getting it done right is critical for business success.
Yeah, so I say in two other areas. So I haven't used their tax services yet,
Mhm.
but obviously the new year is coming, so I'm going to need it, and so I'm
Yes.
looking forward to and I probably should already because it's it's that time of year where
Yeah,
you
that's right.
need the tax planning and stuff.
Mhm.
It's like you got to get that in before the end of the year so you can make
And for business, it's constant, right? Quarterly and updates and all that. But continue on, please.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But I used a couple of the other services. I used their Ask a Lawyer feature again
Hmm.
to kind of answer some HR questions. We had some kind of immigration things we were working on in one particular partnership. So we got those answered. Very competent, very quick response. That was fantastic. And I think it was a relatively new feature that they launched where it's kind of helping you come up with names
Hmm.
and a logo that use an AI and whatnot. And so I believe it was Rocket Lawyer, that AI, that feature that produced what I'm currently
Hmm.
using at the
Hmm.
very least for Double O Ventures logo. So it worked
And
out
it
for
looks
me.
good. That's a
Yeah, doesn't
rocket lawyer
it?
design. I like it. Or assisted. Very nice. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
so it's great. So those are the two other areas, and I know they provide a lot of other things. Just haven't necessarily needed to use them yet. But I'm glad they're there. It does give peace of mind every
Yeah.
time something comes up that I can go back there and just ask a question or
Yeah.
fill out the right form and get what I need to
Yeah.
right really quick. So
Yeah. Three things I'm hearing you say, actually four things, Josh. But is that I think one is the aspect of the templates are there. So you can know that you're getting a template that's more or less will fit your needs and take it as is from Rocket Lawyer. Number
yep,
two, I like the aspect you're saying maybe that template's not exactly what you need. Get one done from scratch or edit an existing one that may have brought you what, 60, 70% there. Rocket Lawyer can help with that. Three, you mentioned, Josh, ask a lawyer. I think that's powerful that maybe there's a situation you just have a question of HR issues, something happens, and we all have that. You better ask somebody who knows what they're doing and who has legal expertise. So Rocket Lawyer has that. And then I like the fact, especially as Rocket Lawyer expands, helping you with the branding, intellectual property, design. Logos are important. And I like yours, 00.ventures
Yep, yep,
is
yep.
powerful as well. So
Yeah, I totally agree. I think Rocket Lawyers has been just what I needed. And, I even selected them over other competitors too. So I think that they have a very competitive and useful offering for sure.
yeah, I love it. Josh, what is your tip for other business owners? Since you now work with other businesses, like you mentioned, your client, your partner with the nail salon, and others you work with, and you are a business owner. What is your tip? Your tip of success for business owners who are saying, you know what, Josh, I'm just starting out, or we're growing, we're doing well. But what have you seen? What are one or two things, Josh? You're like, Ramon, here's what's been my message of growth, my message of success for my business.
Yeah, so at Double O Ventures, we actually have a not a policy. I'd say a culture. A
Mm,
core element of our culture is people over profits, right?
mm,
And that's because and the point, the reason why I say it like that is it's a trade-off. It can be a trade-off.
mm,
Sometimes you have to decide whether you're taking care of the people or you're taking care of the profits.
mm,
But the truth is, and I had a mentor tell me one time, I was arguing with him about quality versus quantity, and he's like, "Yeah, but Josh, you gotta have both." And I was like, "Ah, you're right." Same thing with people versus profit, right? Now, the reason why I say people over profit is that I at least have made the choice to, if I'm going to err in a direction, I'm going to choose people.
mhm,
And the reason why I think that that is kind of a game-winning strategy is because people are more even than just assets. They're at least assets. We don't treat
mm,
them as assets on our financial statements, which is unfortunate in
mhm,
my perspective. I think we should change tax law to enable for a different view on that, but that's a different story. That's a different conversation for a different day. The reason why I invest more in the people is because the people run really like everything, right?
mm,
So I'm willing to take a hit on my profit in order to maximize an individual, because when the relationships are there and
yeah.
people are feeling taken care of, they do their best work. The results and the profit will come. So invest in your people
Mm.
first. The results and the profit come later. That's my philosophy.
Josh, I love that. I was flying on an airline recently, who got a thank you card from them, by the way, for 30 years of flying with them. I almost cried in the air. That's a separate story for another day too. I'll tell you about that. But Josh, they often say, and I'm sure other airlines do, safety and service. And they
Hmm.
say very same thing you said, except with those two words, they said, but safety is more important. So what they're
Mhm.
saying is, we're not saying we don't want clean bathrooms and a great experience and great food in first class, but if we had to pick, no, everybody has to be buckled up, even if the food's not great. Everybody has to blah blah blah. So we want to do both, but
Yep.
safety. So please pay attention. So I think that echoes what you're saying. People and profits. Profits can change, come and go, but people are important. And I'm guessing that's why, Josh, again, being a Rocket Lawyer customer, and thank you for your time today, is that getting those contracts in place, getting everything started properly is important. We're people. Josh and I like each other, whatever, but having things clearly done and documented as things may change, that agreement will make sense. Any final
Yeah.
comments on that, Josh?
Yeah, it's the contracts, for example, to me, I see it as an investment in the relationship. When you
Mm,
define the relationship up front, then everybody's clear. Everybody's clear on expectations. And again, it also kind of provides a plan for when things go wrong, because that's what lawyers are really good at thinking about, okay, what happens when things go wrong? So yeah, I think that contracts and legal protection it's not just another expense. I think you can look at it as an investment in your relationships with your people.
I love that. And you said that right at the beginning, Josh. You said, hey, I invested and got a domain name and got legal protection from Rocket Lawyers. So you can't ask more than that. Josh Lloyd, one more time, give us the name of your business. Feel free to give us the website and give a little pitch for who you're looking for, who can help you maybe, or who you're looking for. Feel free to have the last word on that, please.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Josh Lloyd, I'm with Double O Ventures. We've got a number of portfolio companies. There's lots of ways to get involved in Double O Ventures. You could become a customer of one of our portfolio companies.
Mhm.
So go check out 00.ventures and go look for the list of companies there. Contact me. and happy to kind of set you up with one of those customers. You can actually kind of provide some pro bono mentoring expertise for some of the people that we're helping out, if that's of interest. You can sell your company to us, or you can refer an individual that would be good for our network that we would invest in, or refer them to us, and then we'll take it from there.
I love it. Josh Lloyd, you're a gem. Thank you so much for being here today. My name is Ramon Ray, publisher of zoneofgenius.com. And this amazing discussion has been brought to you by a Rocket Lawyer who helps small business owners, growing businesses, and more with all of their legal needs. Thanks so much for being here.